I'm Ebony Caldwell, founder of Publicity Brand PR, mentor at publicitybrandpr.tv, and your friendly guide to the wild, wonderful, and sometimes hilarious world of entrepreneurship. So, on this particular episode, we're going to be serving up a special dish, and that's going to be the recipe for success through entrepreneur thinking. Now, this isn't some bland, reheated, microwavable advice. This is coming from me, from my experience as well as my clients. And the fact of the matter is, I'm successful. So now we're going to start talking about the recipe. This recipe is going to have both flavors, a creative twist, a lot of creative twist, and just enough spice to keep things interesting. So whether you're just starting out or knee deep in the hustle and trying to start and grow your business, this podcast will motivate you, inform you, maybe even more, take you even further than where you are. So let's grab an apron because we're about to start cooking up some entrepreneur shit here. The very first thing is let's talk about the base ingredient. What is that base ingredient? That base ingredient is a clear vision. You have to know what the main ingredient is for your food to be good. Well, in this particular case, for your business to be great, is going to be a clear vision. Every great dish needs a solid base. And in entrepreneurship, your base is your vision. Without it, like you're a chef, for an example, who doesn't know what they're cooking? If you're a chef, you should know exactly what you're cooking. Just tossing random ingredients into a pot and hoping for the best, spoiler alert, that is not a Michelin stars earned chef. So get your vision together, get that base ingredient together because your vision is your guide to your success, your North Star. Why? Because it is. It's the thing that's going to keep you fired up. When you got that food in the oven, figuratively speaking, it's going to keep everything fired up for your business. Successful entrepreneurs don't just have dreams, they have a detailed, actionable vision. They know exactly where they want to go and what they want to do. So, this is what I need you to do. Grab a pen for me. Because, see, I need you to take some steps right now. And the first one I need you to do is write down your vision like it's the world's most delicious recipe that no one else can create. What are you creating? What are you serving? Why does it matter? Keep this vision somewhere visible, like your vision board, but it's your vision. So I don't care if it's in your phone. You need to be able to see it on a daily task on your phone, not hidden in your phone where it's out of sight, out of mind. You need to be able to see it. It's your menu for success, and it is going to be the recipe for your success, one of your ingredients. Now, let's add another ingredient to this vision and your recipe for your success, a solution oriented mindset. That's another ingredient you're going to add, okay? So you already had your base ingredient, but now you're going to start building on this recipe for your success. So the ingredient now you're going to add is a solution oriented mindset. Let's face it, problems are the burnt edges of the entrepreneur journey. They're going to happen. But instead of throwing out the whole dish, you know how like when you boil rice and then all of a sudden if you just burn the bottom but the top part is still white and it looks still like, oh, you know what? It's good. I could just take off the top. Wrong, because the shit is burnt and it's nasty. And no matter how much you try to take off the top of the rice, it's still nasty. And we all know that that is burnt rice. So with that being said, Being an entrepreneur is a journey. Sometimes you're going to have that burnt rice where it's burnt at the bottom and white at the top and fluffy. Things are going to happen. But instead of throwing out that whole dish, successful entrepreneurs, they grab a knife. They going to trim the edges and they going to keep going because you're going to pretend like that damn rice was never burnt. So I don't care if you add some extra butter to it, add some Cajun seasoning to it, throw it out for little so people don't taste the burntness because you're going to be creative. Because, see, that is what an entrepreneur does. They have a solution oriented mindset. They're going to have a solution for what they just fucked up. Remember that, what I just said. Here's the deal, if you're always looking at what's wrong, you'll never see what's going to be right. You're never going to see what's possible, what can happen. The secret is to ask. Ask yourself. If you want to ask somebody that's close to you, that you admire, that has a pot to piss in, that got something to show for it, ask, how can I fix this? Or better yet, how can I make this even better than it was before? So let me tell you something. You know how people always want to cry over spilled milk or a bad pitch meeting? Clean it up. Pour another glass. Move the fuck on. Who cares? You will always hear me say, sweep it under the rug. Life is too short to cry over spilled milk. So go ahead, be creative, and go ahead and move on. The next time you hit a snag, write down 3 possible solutions. Think of it as this: it's your brainstorming, it's your way out of that burnt rice. Remember that. You're going to brainstorm this. Next, I got another ingredient for you to add to your base ingredient: a healthy dash of risk and a side of failure. I read a book back in the day. I think I might have been 19, 20, 18. I don't know. But it was called Failure is the Best Way to Success. It is. If you ain't never failed, how the hell you going to sit there and know if you actually are strong or can make yourself stronger? How can you gain strength? How can you learn from your failures if you never failed? Think about that. So now let's talk about risk, the hot sauce of entrepreneurship. A little adds a flavor, but it's not too much. Well, let's just say this. You're gonna remember what I'm about to say. If not, grab a pen. Taking risks is essential for success. It's just like even when you have your 401k or your IRA or your stocks, you're investing money in it with the hopes of a return. That's a risk. That's not guaranteed. That is a risk. What's more guaranteed is you putting it in the bank and it's sitting there and ain't shit happening to it. Okay? Taking risks is essential for success. But here's the twist: they should be calculated. Successful entrepreneurs analyze, strategize, and then they take that leap of faith after they analyze and strategize. And when things don't go as planned, which they often don't when you first try, or as my mother said, if at first you don't succeed, try again. Well, I have try again. And I had to reanalyze again and re-strategize again and take another leap of faith. But what happens is you learn from the fall and you get back up. Failure isn't the only thing in the world. It's not. It's more like accidentally adding too much salt. You just learn. You adjust, you try again, and this time with a lighter hand of salt, just like a dash. You're going to season this recipe to perfection. When you're faced with a risky decision, listen to the potential outcomes. If the rewards outweighs the risk, go for it. If you fail, laugh it off, learn and try again. And I am notorious for laughing, not because I think it's funny, but seriously, like, I mean, here's the thing. I always say, what's the worst can happen? Right? What's the worst can happen? And at that moment, that's when reality hit me, which is the next ingredient: consistent action and discipline. What's the worst can happen? Well, I'm going to do it again, but in a different way. But this time I'm going to be disciplined with it to do it the correct way because I want to create the perfect recipe for my success. So now let's talk about this secret sauce: consistent actions. Think of this as the stirring pot of the recipe. You can't just toss everything in it and hope for the best because it's going to be awful and you're not going to be rated as a Michelin chef. You've got to keep it at it every single day, day after day, even when you don't feel like it, even when you're tired, even if you feel like you put in 12 hours a day, 16 hours a day. And yes, I do 16 to 18 hours a day. That's because I love what I'm doing. But at the same time, I be damn and I refuse to fail. So you got to keep at this day after day after day, night after night when you don't feel like it. Success doesn't happen in one big moment. It's built through small, disciplined actions that compound over time. And it's also part of the recipe for the success is fuck ups that you make up and you fix up and you season up to become that Michelin chef. You can't bake a cake without preheating the oven and measuring the flour right. You can't bake a cake if you put it on 500 degrees and think that's cool and you're going to walk away and get on a computer or start talking to your friends on the phone and not time it, much less it's on 500 degrees. It's not going to work. Discipline is actually like eating your nasty vegetables. And I say nasty vegetables because I hate peas, right? But you know what? You don't always want to do it, but it's good for you. And in the end, it makes everything better. It's like working out. If you're working out, you haven't worked out in a while, but you feel like, especially if you're a woman, I got a badass body. If you're a guy, I make seven figures. I look good. I don't need to work out. And then the moment you finally start trying to work out, oh my God, your bones are aching. Your body is aching. You out of breath. Can't breathe. And you know what happens? You want to give up. Uh-uh. You need this discipline. Because see, you're not only about to look good, but you need to feel good. In order for you to feel good, you need to look good, but you need to be disciplined because once you start feeling good and looking good and everything else, that money gonna start growing too because now you're so disciplined with that and you're feeling even better, your business is going to even start growing even better because now the confidence is sticking out. Break your vision into small, tiny, bite-sized goals. Because like I said, everything don't happen overnight. Losing weight doesn't happen overnight. You need to create a plan and stick to it. And remember to celebrate all the small wins because they are like the little sprinkles on the success of the cake that you're going to bake in the oven that's not on 500 degrees. Next, we're going to go ahead and add another ingredient for our recipe to success. And that's going to be adaptability and innovation. So let's talk about adaptability. That is very much so the secret ingredient that is going to separate good entrepreneurs from great entrepreneurs. And I think I'm a great entrepreneur, but I also think that I could be better because that's the innovation part. And we're going to talk about that. Markets change. We know this. Trends evolve. And sometimes the recipes needs to be tweaked. Being adaptable does not always mean you throwing out your vision. It means you're being flexible in the approach of your business and how you're going to continue to do business and how you're going to grow your business. So you definitely want to make sure you are adaptable and you're flexible. Think of it as adjusting the seasoning until the flavor is just right. Innovations is like trying a new spice. Like, have you ever had cumin seasoning? Look it up. It's like kind of like a sage type seasoning, but it's an Indian seasoning, but it's yellow, yellowish brown. You don't know if it's going to work until you taste it. But I promise you, it does. It's magic. That common seasoning is so good on chicken. It's good on beef. It's good on shrimp. It's a very unique, distinctive taste. But like I said, you don't know until you try it. And you're not going to see a lot of recipes that have cumin seasoning on it. You may see some with curry seasoning, but not cumin. Try it. And the reason why I'm saying try it is because you are being innovative. You want to make sure your innovation is a new spice. You're being creative. You don't know how it's going to work out until you even attempt to try it. For the growth of your business, for the growth of your brand, for the growth of your entrepreneur business mindset, you need to always stay curious. Regularly review different strategies that has worked for you and even other people. What's working, what's not, what can I try next? Experimentation will keep your business fresh and forward thinking. And the reason why I'm saying this is because if you start trying to do things like somebody else, it's not going to, it may not work for you. You need to be who you are and build on your business and your recipe for success based on you and what makes you happy and how you see yourself, not no one else. Now, you can use part of their base ingredient, but at the end of the day, the base ingredient that you're using for the recipe of the success is the clear vision. And that clear vision is you want to be successful, right? That is the clear vision. That is the base ingredient. That is okay to copy from everybody else who's successful because their base ingredient is to be fucking successful. And that is yours. Understand the recipe for success is everything. So there you have it. The recipe for your success is through your entrepreneur thinking. So now let's do this. Let's recap. You want to start with a clear vision, because that's your base ingredients, right? Your guide to greatness. Your base ingredient is your start with a clear vision. That's going to be your guide to greatness. Next, you're going to add a solution. And once you add that solution you're going to put it in your mindset, that entrepreneurship business mindset. The problems are just opportunities in disguise. These are not real problems. Understand, these may appear to be obstacles, but it's only making you stronger and it's giving you the strength for you to go to the next level. And remember, your other ingredient, the sprinkle in a calculated risk. Don't be afraid of a little failure. Failure is actually good for you. Failure also will teach you. Failure will also make you stronger, but you have to be disciplined. Our next ingredient, mixing consistent actions. And once again, discipline. Because success is built one step at a time. What do they say? Rome wasn't built overnight, right? Neither is fucking success. Success is not built overnight. it takes time to build success. It's not overnight, not even for the most successful people. It took them time. Even if there was a trust fund, baby, if they wanted to reinvest that money, it took them time. And believe it or not, they still had some risk involved. Your next one is mix in consistent actions with the discipline. Well, actually, we already talked about that. So that's okay. But you want to be able to just take your time. Take your time, but be consistent. Don't stop. Stay focused. You want to go ahead and add some seasoning, some extra seasoning in there. And that seasoning is adaptability and innovation. Stay flexible, stay creative. And I promise you, I'm always flexible, I'm always creative, and I'm always going to think outside the box. You have to think outside the box. What can make me stronger? What is different? Who am I? What sets me apart? When you follow this recipe, you're not only cooking up success for yourself, but you're creating a masterpiece. And let me tell you something. For the record, I do think I'm a damn masterpiece. I do. I do. As a matter of fact, my next podcast after this one tomorrow is going to be on Me 2.0, a masterpiece. There's several reasons why I said that Me 2.0 masterpiece, because I am definitely a 2.0 and I'm definitely a masterpiece. This is what I need you to do. Take the next step. If you're ready to really take your entrepreneur thinking journey to the next level, join me at publicitybrandpr.tv for hands-on business training and mentorship. And don't forget to tune in to the Entrepreneur Business Mindset podcast Monday through Friday. I drop a new episode Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, where I serve up daily tips, stories, and motivation. And my stuff is never unscripted and it's always going to be fresh for you. Remember, the power of entrepreneur thinking is like a great recipe. It takes time, effort, and a little seasoning. So when it all comes together, the results are going to be very deliciously rewarding. Now get out there and cook up your vision into victory. And one more thing I need you to do for me, make sure you join my community at entrepreneurtrainingacademy.net. That is a free community. Entrepreneurtrainingacademy.net. Let's start cooking up a vision to victory.